makes most women start a business? Is it passion, money, or freedom? Welcome to Female Founders, the podcast that takes you behind the scene with women who are founders and CEOs to help you start and scale a successful business of your own. I am your host, Naghilia. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Female Founder Podcast from WOMEL. I'm your host, Naghilia. Today I am excited to have a conversation with the founder of Wool Soul Collection and Wool Your Wool World. Wool Soul Collection is a collection of handmade original art for your home or office in the form of home decor, wall art, and jewelry. Wool Your Wool World is a blog for people moving from a major city to a small town lifestyle. Tamara shares her experience and tips for gardening, home decor, and the best way to make your life simple in a small town. What are we waiting for? Let's go meet Tamara to get some artistic and small town lifestyle tips. Good morning, Tamara. It's a pleasure to have you with us today, and we are super excited to learn about Wool Soul Collection and share your founder journey with other women in business. You know, almost every day that I hear someone moving to a small town for a more affordable lifestyle. You moved from a big city to a small town in the state of California. Can you tell us about that journey?
Oh, wow. So I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, well, mostly San Francisco and Oakland Bay Area. So big metropolitan city, big old huge international airport. We have people from all over the world come. It's very culture based. I was actually born in Berkeley, California. So if anybody knows anything about Berkeley, you know, it's very much um, active, you know, proactive of anything. It's a college campus. People love to be embedded in culture. So it was a really great experience living there. But as I got older, I wanted to get to something a little bit more simple. And um, years ago, I worked for the Conservation Corps and I lived in South Lake Tahoe. And living there, I decided that, once I retired, that I wanted to live in a small town. I wanted that community based feeling. I wanted to live close to nature, close to water. So I made the decision long ago that I wanted to be in a small rural community. So in 2017, once my children graduated from high school, I decided to make the move to a small town. And so we looked around and finally we found this beautiful place. Excuse me, allergies. In Clearlake, California. And this is some place where I used to come when I was a kid, come fishing with my great grandparents. So it was familiar to me and also to my boyfriend. So we bought a house here and we've been living here for 4 years now. And I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Did I say love it? I love it.
Yeah.
It's so nice. The people are wonderful. Um, it's just having that community and sharing that friendship with my neighbors. I mean, when something happens here, it's like family. We had a fire up the hill a couple months ago, and you should have seen people coming out of their houses, honking horn, make sure people getting together. You need anything? People who are disabled, let's get you out of the house, into this car, let's get you out of here. So that's not something that I found living in a big city. You just
I
don't get
agree.
that type of community based, family, tight knit community. And that's what I wanted for my retirement, for my children, and for my business.
I totally agree with you
So
in a
that
big
was one of
city.
the. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say in a big city, people usually like you. It's like you're not even exist, because it's too
No,
many people,
no.
too full, too crowded, and you just feel lost in paradise. So I kind of understand why living in a small town, feeling like family is important, especially when you have kids, like you said. It's important because your kids get to grow, be around other people who cares for them and they care for too.
Yeah,
I
and
like that
I
idea.
have two special needs children, so it was even more um, prominent to me to get to somewhere where people knew my kids, they knew me, and my kids could feel loved on, and not they get that here. They didn't get that in the big city. Not to say they didn't have friends, but you know, everyone knows my kids on this block. A lot of people know my kids in town. The sheriff's department, the fire department knows my son. They roll by the house, they honk and wave. I mean, you can't get that in the big city. You just can't. I mean, he goes down to the fire department, he hangs out and all that. So, coming to a small town, although it was a big adjustment, it was a great decision. And if you're looking for a tight knit community, if you're looking for being involved in your community, if you're looking for quiet, a small town is where you need to be.
I totally agree, and I can't wait to just follow your footstep. How did you get into art and making in hand crafted home decor and jewelry?
Oh wow. Well, it was kind of by accident, to be honest. I've always had a love for art. I fell in love with art in the seventh grade. My teacher, Mr. Brown, introduced me to drawing with the right hand side of your brain. And from there, he just kind of introduced me and the rest of my classmates to different types of art, and that art is not prone to a masterpiece and perfection. Art is within. So, I love that part of it, and I fell in love with art. I used to go to museums all the time, but I just never really considered myself an artist. I thought that you have to have talent. This talent, everyone says, oh, you have talent, you can draw. I couldn't draw. I couldn't draw to save my life. If you ask me to draw me something right now, I'll draw you a circle, stick figure. I'm done. Okay, I just couldn't do it. But painting and working with different mediums gave me an opportunity to express myself. I found myself in a museum here, and they had a small Jackson Pollock painting, just traveling. And I went to go see it, and I said, I can do that. I can do that. So about a year later, I ran into a video about fluid art, and I started experimenting. And once I started experimenting, I found out that I could control my mediums and come out with these outrageous things I thought I could never do. Never do. And so here I am today. I don't know if you can see stuff behind me, but it allowed me to be the artist that was always inside of me, that I thought that I couldn't be because society says that art's supposed to be this. And you have to go to school and do this. And
Mm-hmm.
you have to study and do that. And it's not always true. Artists are artists from within, not from without. So discovering that although I'm not using a paintbrush and drawing just distinctive lines and faces and shadows and shapes, I am creating something from within by deciding what type of mediums I'm going to use, what I'm going to paint on, if I'm going to use paint, if I'm going to use resin, what I'm going to embed in it. It's incredibly freeing to be able to know that you can paint and have it come out of you and make other people happy with the things that you do. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful experience. If anybody's out there and they think that because they don't have skills Don't believe that. Find what you're comfortable with and play with it. Just play with it.
Just
That's
have
what it's
fun.
all about. Just have fun because it's within, not without.
I agree. Just have fun. I don't think certain things in life, I don't think you really need to go to school for it. Even if you go back to a lot of big founders like Steve Jobs, things like that. Apple, he didn't even finish college. Apple
No,
was already a big company and he went back
correct.
and finished his college degree. So really, you can still, even if you don't have the education, you just have to have a passion, a love for what you want to do and just go for it like you did. Just
Just go for it.
go for it. So
Just go for it.
from all of that you did from seventh grade to finding that passion again when you get older, you created Russo Collection. Can you tell us about Russo Collection?
Well, Russell Collection came about. Well, I came to live in Clearlake, and I started homesteading. And I love nature, and I love colors. And as I said before, I've always wanted to do artwork. So when I started to do my artwork, um, a couple people were like, I really like your stuff. Maybe you should sell it. And I'm like, no, no, I don't. I don't want to sell. I'm a perfectionist, so I always felt that my artwork wasn't good enough. And a friend of mine pulled me to the side and was like, you know what, you should really try to sell your wares. Like, you do beautiful work. I love all the things that you do. So why don't you just give it a try? So I'm like, here I am, once again, diving into the lake. Feet first, not even thinking about it. And here we go. Here I am today. I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. It can't hurt.
Nope,
Can't hurt.
not at all.
And if I don't sell anything, so what? I had a fun ride doing it. I think at the end of the day, that's where people kind of get lost in their journey is they make it so about making money. And I feel like when you're doing something, I think your passion should come first and you find the money in your passion. And people get lost in finding the money and then trying to find the passion and the money in it. It doesn't really work that way. You end up not liking what you do. And I'm so happy that I found the passion first and then created Russo Collection after I found the passion.
So
It was supposed to be rural. Like I live in a rural area, but I couldn't use that because somebody had the name. So I end up putting wool, but at the same time, um, it worked for me because when I'm working, I am ruling and I am dominating my canvases
mhm,
or whatever it is that I choose to work with. Not always a canvas. Somebody could be a vase, it could be a box, it could be anything really. So it actually worked out great that it came out to be rules of collection
collection.
versus and rule living a rural life. So I like it much better like that. And everything that I have or that I do comes from soul. So I'm ruling my canvas or I'm dominating whatever it is that I'm using as my um a canvas or base. I'm ruling that. It's coming from the soul, and all of these things are part of my collections. So that's where Russo collection came from.
And I love what you said when you said that you have to
Oh, I think I
find your
lost you there,
passion.
Naghilia.
No, I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I can hear you.
What I was going to say is that I love the fact that you said you have to find your passion first before you actually think about the money part. And you are absolutely right
Mm-hmm.
about that because if you don't have passion for something, you try to make money off of it. Even I'm not saying you will not make money, you probably will, but eventually you will get burned out because it's not something you love, it's not something you have a passion for, it's not something you even want to do. You just see the money, you go with the flow. So I love your point of view in that. I think it was fascinating you say that. A question I have for you: what were the main challenges you faced as a founder?
Oh boy. I think the main challenges I faced is not listening to other people because it's not their dream and being okay with that. You know, being okay with people not understanding that, why are you wasting your time doing hard work? You should be getting a job. You should be doing the, you know, woulda, shoulda, coulda people in the background. It's very difficult sometimes to chase your dream with other people saying that your dream is invalid. And you know what? That's okay that they don't think or feel that your dream isn't valid. But guess what? It's not their dream. So it took me some time to work through that. And I think that was probably the hardest part. Once I understood that not everyone's going to understand or feel my dream or my goals or my vision, and that's okay. And not to ingest that and then find like minded people that not necessarily see my vision but understand what the vision is and support me along the way. That's a really important part of being a founder of any business or really anything that you do. I mean, that comes from even my homesteading. People, oh, why are you going out and living in the sticks and growing your own vegetables and you got chickens and all this kind of stuff? What's wrong with you? You crazy? No, I'm not crazy. It's a vision. I had a vision of living a minimal life. I had a vision of living in a small town, growing my own vegetables, living a healthier lifestyle. And just because other people don't see that doesn't mean it's not valid. And I think that's hard for a lot of people to understand that just because someone don't see your vision and your dream doesn't mean that it's not valid. There are so many people in this world that can tell you they have a toilet paper roll of people who told them that, they couldn't do this, they couldn't sing, they couldn't act, they couldn't open a business, their product wasn't any good. I say this: if you believe in something and you're passionate about something, then follow through with it, despite what other people may say about your vision. It's not theirs, it's yours.
It's yours. Yes,
Hmm.
you are correct. It's your dream, it's your passion, it's what you want to do. If you believe in it, just go for it. Give it a shot.
Just go for it. I mean, life is short. Of course you're gonna fall down. Of course you're gonna make mistakes. That's all part of war. How do you think you got up and started walking? It's all part of it. So I think the second thing would probably be fear. Fear of putting myself out there, fear of being rejected, fear of what if it doesn't work? What am I, what if no one likes my stuff? Or so those two things would probably be the main ones. Not listening to other people and conquering my fears.
I agree. But you also the good thing about failing is the fact that you get to learn from it. That's the best way to actually grow and to build your business is to fail. If you never
Hmm.
fail, you never really learn anything.
Correct. It's all part of getting up and walking. If you don't fall down, you're not going to learn how to walk. You're just not. I mean, all of these things that I do, even my painting, my homesteading, everything I've done in my life, I have failed, pivoted, and corrected myself and continued on. That's
Keep
just
on
that's how the
moving.
world works. Yeah, you just get up, pivot. That didn't work for me. Make a little. You don't have to make a 360. You don't have to drop everything in the world. All you have to do is see, okay, that didn't work. Pivot a little bit and go that way. That's
Yeah,
it. That's it.
I think the key is to understand why you fail and learn what you're supposed to learn from it, so that you don't make that mistake again later
Mistake
on.
again. That's correct. I think
And you
that's a
can
lot
also
of people do that. They focus too much on the failure and not on making it better the next time. They kind of get stuck right there. Well, I failed,
Mhm.
and then that's it. It's hard. It is. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, oh, everything's wonderful. And I fell down and got up, put a bed in on, everything was great. No, honey, there will be tears. There will be dark days. There will be rainy days. But there's also sunshiny days and warm days and fun days and days filled with laughter and accomplishments. So it goes both ways, but pushing forward is the most important thing you can do. Just don't give up, no matter what. I don't. Naghilia knows me for a very long time, and I've had several business adventures. And it took me a long time to find out what I really wanted to do. So don't give up. Just don't give up.
That's true what you say, Tamara. If you actually starting something, it doesn't matter what it is in life. If you can just, as a human, if you can just get up and do it and it's perfect, you should actually question it. Seriously, you should question something. Okay, why is everything look so perfect? Because
Hmm.
really, why would you want everything to be perfect? Because there's
Perfect.
no fun on it, you know?
Hmm.
There's no adventure. You're missing all the
No
adventure part of it.
challenge.
The challenges, they're going under the blanket crying and then get up, say, you know what, I can do this.
Do this.
That's
That's
the best
right.
part of mine. Because I will not lie, I done this many times. I crawl into my bed, put the blanket on, and cry, and then stand up, said, I look at myself in the mirror, I said, I can do this. I don't
And
care
that's
what
the
she said.
best feeling. Hmm.
Mhm. I don't care what he said. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna try again. And then you know what? One thing I always do is writing down my mistake, what just happened, and try to
Yeah.
figure it out. What am I supposed to learn from this? Why this happened, and how can I fix it? And if I
Hmm.
cannot fix it, oh well, next, keep on moving.
Keep on
That's the
moving.
best thing you can
Hmm.
do. Yes,
Yeah, you have to keep moving.
absolutely. And what are your goals for the future of your business?
Well, my goals for the future of my business is to incorporate my kids. My kids love to do art too, and I would love to incorporate them into my business. My son would love to have a candle business, so we've been working on that. And my daughter would like to start more of her jewelry business, and we're starting on that. And then also, I would like to somehow use my artwork to help other people, to relieve stress and PTSD, help my seniors, I'm down to the senior center and get them painting. Just use painting as a way to relieve stress, anxiety, something fun to do, something different to do. Art is a well known fact, it's a stress reliever. It actually sends signals to your receptors in your brain to calm you down. So that's also part of my goal is to, in the future, use my skills to help other people feel good about themselves.
I love that. And I think it's a great idea because a lot of people need that, especially if you can find something that can just, you can relax. You can take a break from everything else in this world and just have fun. It doesn't matter what people got to say. Just have fun. It's art.
It's all
If you want
fun.
to, yeah, if you want to put everything around, just do that, I
Just
guess. It's
do that.
art. You never know.
Yes.
Someone will
You
love
never
it.
know. That's right.
Mhm.
That's
I
right.
love that girl. I love it, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun with the kids too because I have a lot of fun having my son a part of Warmel. So I think it's a great idea to also have that. If you had to start over, what would you do differently?
If I had to start over, what would I do differently? Um, hmm, that's a good question. If I had to start over, what would I do differently? Um,
Maybe not listening to people telling you can't do this.
Also, I was getting ready to say, not listening to people. Oh my God, it's so listen to myself more and not listen to other people. Just basically trust myself. Listen to myself. The inner voice is a powerful thing, and sometimes we choose to listen to other people versus listening to ourselves.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with that. Can you talk about one woman who has impacted your life?
Besides my mom,
I know, right? Our mother is like the best advisor, the best mentor, the best coach.
exactly. I lost my mom uh, more almost 15 years ago. So uh, I would say Maya Angelou. I identify with her a lot. She's a fantastic role model, very strong woman. Excuse me, Dr. Maya Angelou. Uh, her facing the diversity that she did in her life and be able to come out where she did and then turn around and inspire, you know, millions of women and people around the world. I mean, that's a powerful thing, and that's something that I would like to do someday. Is inspire people to do their very best, to be their best, to be okay, to feel like you may be broken, and go on and continue to inspire people with your story. And I think that her life it has inspired me to push forward in so many instances of diversity in my own life that I just keep her in the back of my mind. I keep a lot of her poetry in the back of my mind for those days when I just need a little push over the hill, you know? Phenomenally.
And you're right. It's always what Dr. Angela is like. When you read her poet, it's kind of like even no matter how bad you are feeling, how down you are, trust me, you're just gonna stand up and say, "I am going to do this." Just listening to her story itself, it's like if she went through all that, mine is not even close to hers. So why
Correct.
am I complaining? Get off my butt and get
It's
things
done.
done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's a role model for all of us.
Yes. So definitely
I totally agree with you. And what's your advice for female founders who are starting out?
work smarter, not harder. Make sure you do your self care. Take care of yourself. Do something fun from time to time. Your business is your baby, but you must take care of yourself. And make sure you have a bound, sound support group. Doesn't necessarily have to be a person in business, but someone who knows you have a dream and willing to support you through your journey. I think those are really important things.
Absolutely, there are. Even if you don't have a business or not, having someone that support you to whatever where you want to head in your life is important to have that. I think mentor is important no matter what. Even you have a business, you don't have one, or wherever way you want to go, having someone to talk to, someone you can share, someone that believe in you as a yourself as a human being is important to have that.
Absolutely.
And trust me, you will
Absolutely.
find one. You will find one. And you have Woolso collection and you have Woolio Wool. So which is helping people that kind of like from what I understand, from what I read and knowing about your company is your wool is helping someone that's coming from a big city like you did, moving to a small town like you did. So can
Hmm.
you tell us about wool your wool?
Well, Rule Your Rules is exactly what you said. It's just kind of my experience of moving from a big city to a small town. It's kind of a big city to a smaller suburban city to a rural community. Talk about all the things that I experience here. Anything from shopping to neighborhoods and getting to know my neighbors and how important that is, to deciding to have a homestead and growing my own food and sharing my recipes for healthy cooking, and some of the other community organized events. I share those on my blog as well. But it's more about learning how to settle in, giving yourself ideas about how to settle into a new community, and letting yourself know that just because things are a little bit different doesn't mean that it's going to be hard. Don't make it hard. Um, Give you ideas of how you can also start a business in a small community, how you can make an impact in your small community. Because I'll tell you one thing that I learned being in a small town. Everything is microsized now. So everything from local sheriff's department, politics, shopping, all of it's on microcosm now. I mean, I see the same people at Walmart, and then 15 minutes later I'll go to Safeway, and the same people are in line at Safeway, and you're like, we're following each other around. It's a small town. You get to know everyone. And coming to a small town may seem difficult, but being on the website kind of shows you, well, you know what? It doesn't really seem that bad. It actually kind of seems cool. And then the most important thing that I think a lot of people miss when they're moving is exploring your new surroundings, your local parks, libraries, community events, even the outsides of your towns are important to explore. There's always something historical about the towns that you live in, and I suggest everyone, big or small, go and check that out. Know your history. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, I agree. It is, especially if you get to communicate with one, knowing the people, be able to say hi, make some friends. Maybe they have some great tips about the neighborhood.
Oh
I'm sure
yeah.
they probably want to tell you how they cook that pie for Thanksgiving that they
Oh
have
yeah.
special just for the town, and get to know your sheriff. You never know, because you never know what's gonna happen. Get to know the people, because you might just need help. I agree with you on that. If I live in a small town, I probably would want to know everybody. Probably will be sneezing too. Hey, you, how you doing?
It's funny. I happen to live next door to kind of our local celebrity. They call him the Pickle Man, and he pickles everything. So he's been going out to the farmers market for 20 some odd years with his wares, and it's like he was like one of the first people I met. I'm like, oh, you live next to the Pickle Man? Oh my God, he knows everybody, and it was just like this whole thing. So he kind of like looks out for me. He's a great neighbor. I totally love Dave. The Pickle Man's awesome. And it just shows you how, everything's on a microcosm scale. Your neighbors are your family, and it's important to be part of your big family. It really is. If you're looking for a tight knit community, yeah, small town.
A small town, absolutely.
Yes.
You have fun.
It's not for everybody. I'm not going to say it's for everybody, but it's great for me. Absolutely fabulous for me.
I guess if you're really looking to take a break from a big city, from all the noise, ping, 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 and from all the police going, and
Helicopters and all that. Yeah,
all,
yeah.
all the driving you crazy, giving you a headache, I guess a small town is the time for you to start looking to a small town, and then moving on and follow Tamara and read all the things she posts, because she has some really great tips, and especially for food too. She has some great recipes. You probably will love them too.
I love to cook,
Oh my
so
oh my goodness. So this is a great opportunity to share your story with other women.
thank you.
And
Thank
I
you.
enjoy learning a lot more things about you that some of them I didn't know yet. So it's good to get more stories out of you, you know?
We could talk all that. We could talk about the deer. Well, that's another story. We'll
Oh,
have
yeah,
to
the
have
bear,
a
the
whole.
bear, the bear, the bear.
Yes.
That was a good one.
Did I mention I have wildlife? Yes, I have bears, deer, raccoons, snakes. Wild Kingdom, Mutual of Omaha, right here. Gotcha.
I know. I would love to have a bear in my backyard. Hi,
Yeah,
Mrs. Bear. Hi, Mr.
bear
Bear.
and her two cubs. Okay, I mean, I love wildlife, but that was too close. I'm sorry. And these deer, um,
The deer eating all your
they
food.
have a yes, they have a personal problem with me. I'm not sure if they think that I'm growing the food for them or they're just stalking me. I'm not quite sure. I'm telling you which one it is right now.
I think, in my personal point of view, I have a feeling that they think that you love the animals so much, you pull it out for them. It's their job to come in and eat it to make sure they please you very well.
Yeah, yes. Oh, cool. Yeah, she's growing out some lettuce today. Let's go out and check that out. There's some peppers. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Grapevines, all of it.
I think they love you. I think they're doing the job,
That's a
and they
whole nother
know.
story.
I think they know they are doing the job. Tamara, how can people stay
You're
connected
watching
with you?
me.
How can
Well, if
people
you
stay
want to follow
connected with
me
you?
with Rule Your Rule, they can stay connected with me. You can follow me on Facebook at Rule Your Rule. You can follow me on Instagram at Rule Your Rule. And you can follow me on um, YouTube at Rule Your Rule. And if you'd like to follow Rule Soul Collection and check out any of my products, you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube from Rule Soul Collection.
And also, Tamara will have a lot of great sales going on for the holiday. So pass by, check out also collection, and then get some discount from some gifts for Christmas coming up.
Yes,
For family
yes,
members, for friends, for business partners, for your employees, and she also take custom orders. So you can
yes.
also check her website, wolsocollection.com. That will give you more information on how to make a custom order, and why not use some of the discount codes. Because, hey, girl, I
Yes.
love discounts. What can I say?
Yes. 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 Please stop by and even if you don't buy anything, I'd love to hear from you. Make a comment on the blog. Stop by Russo Collection, make a comment. Stop by in my Facebook or Instagram account, make a comment. Let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear from you. Always.
Before I let you go, what will be your best five lifestyle tips for someone getting ready to move to a small town?
That's a great question. I would say definitely visit your small town that you're inquiring about living in. Check things out. Investigate and see if that's somewhere where you want to live at. Like I live rural, very rural, but we have like a Walmart here, a Safeway and stuff, grocery outlet. Some small towns don't have that. So I would suggest definitely going and checking it out. Once you get there, I would definitely say number one thing is to check out with your neighbors. Check in with your neighbors as soon as you get there. Go over there, hi, introduce yourself. Let people know that you're in town and you're new. You will be surprised the hospitality you will receive once you come to a small town. Number two, I would say with these days and ages, believe it or not, groups, Facebook group, TikTok groups, Instagram groups for your small town or region are great ways to get involved, find out what's going on, and meet people. A small town, oh my goodness, bulletin boards. Yes, they still post on bulletin boards outside of laundromats, post office, the local stores. These are great ways to find events and get connected with your community. Another great thing to do is to get involved with your local community, active volunteer, check out centers, check out your libraries. Anything you can do to be socially active within your small town is a great way to start. Letting people know that you're there and you're willing to be part of the community is the best transition part of being in a small town.
Thank you for the great tips, Tamara. I very much appreciate it. And your
You're welcome.
specialty on that is very important because you've been doing this for a while. So you know what works, what do not work. So thank you for the opportunity to actually have this interview with you. And I very much
Thank
appreciate it.
you. Thank you so much. Wonderful talking to you, and thank you so much. I had a great time being with you today.
Thank you, Tamara, for a great conversation and the tips you share with us today. Handmade crafting business can be very scary, but also fun while making a great living. If you are looking for handmade home decor, jewelry, or art, check out Tamara's website, www.woolsoulcollection.com. And you can also visit her blog, woolyourwoolworld.com, to get tips on how to live the best lifestyle in a small town. Thank you for listening to Female Founders Podcast. That's it for this week's episode. Be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast app or connect with us on womel.com so that you don't miss our next episode. See you next time. Bye for now.